they gave me some locks. I found out the keys, they came in with crops. I planted the seeds. Now if I am shot or if I am bleeding, I will not stop until I stop breathing. Reap what you sow, and they sowing weeds, but they do not know. They think they got trees, it's like a disease. Then they look at me 500 degrees like I'm Little Weezy, boy. Ain't none of this easy, boy. Shout out to my little brother Quest. He inspired me to go and be the best.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Apply the Pressure. This episode right here is called Answer the Call. Yeah, that's right. Answer the call. And I'm here to tell y'all, you don't have to be an expert to answer the call. Whatever that may be. You know, we living in a society and a world, especially with YouTube and, you know, other social media platforms, that you can go to places to get so much information on anything. I mean, you can practically learn how to be a doctor on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm just playing, but y'all get my point. Whether it's, you know, you want to be a cosmetologist, or, you know, you want to be a musician, or you want to be an engineer or videographer, or, you know, whatever it is, you want to learn how to cut grass, whatever it is, you know, they have all these step-by-step programs, and they have all these to-do lists out there to get you, you know, prepared to do whatever it is that you want to do. But don't be so caught into writing down in your notebook and trying to gain, you know, the perfect knowledge in a particular area that you actually forget to do it. And that's the issue I see, you know, a lot going on with a lot of people is you spend so much time researching and trying to be perfect and waiting on that perfect day. Oh, I'm going to do it on this day or that day when the sun is completely shining and it's not raining outside, and you're waiting on that perfect day, that perfect moment where you have the perfect knowledge and it's the perfect time of the year, to where you never actually do it. And year after year after year, or month after month after month, or week after week after week goes by, and you never actually do it. And you spend so much time trying to be perfect at it that you never actually do it. And we do that with things in life as well as the calling on our life. You know, God may call us to do certain things at different times. And when he does, you know, when we first get that new calling from God, you know, we're so excited, you know, we're so energetic about it. And we immediately go, okay, God, what do you want me to do next? And all right, I'm going to research and trying to find out as much information as I can about this, which is good. But then a lot of us, sometimes we never even start. We never take that next step and actually starting, because we done spent so much time doing the book work or doing other things that just so much time has passed and we get distracted on something else. Or maybe we're not as motivated to even do that anymore. And then we done took so long, now we're questioning, wait, did God really say? You know, that's one of the ways the devil questions you a lot. Did God really say? And a lot of times when we take so much time to get started, we can begin to ask those questions. Did God really tell me to do this? You know, that was so long ago now. And so my message to y'all today is, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be an expert to answer the call. Just answer the call. You know, it's important that, you know, we move, you know, once we do feel like God has called us to do something. And I want to read from 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. As each one has received a special gift, employ it in serving one another as good stewards of the multifaceted grace of God. Whoever speaks is to do so as one who is speaking actual words of God. You hear that? Like, whoever speaks, if that's your calling, that's your gift, speak it as though it's the actual words of God. Do you know how much confidence that takes to do that? Do you know how much, you know, just giving it up to God that is to do that? Because you know you're not, you know, as confident as God, and you know that you may mess up, you may have error. Whoever serves is to do so as one who is serving by the strength which God supplies, so that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ, whom belongs the glory and dominion forever and ever. So what that is saying is, whether your calling right now is to speak, whether it's to serve or whether that's the overall calling on your life. Do so. Speak as if you're speaking the actual words of God. Serve as if you're serving by the strength of God. And it says, so that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. What that means is, we know you ain't God. We know that we know you're human. So when we see you serving how God serves, we accredit that to God. We accredit that to Jesus Christ. He gets that glory in the end, because when you are so bold in doing something, like, people can see, okay, that ain't you. That's the Spirit working in you. So that's why it's important to be bold and to do things, and to make sure that we don't let things, linger and just fester too long before we actually do them. God doesn't need you to be an expert in your calling. God doesn't need you to be an expert in your calling. He just wants you to take the first step and rely on him to show you what comes next. He does not need you to be an expert. Yeah, getting this much study material and doing this and doing that is great. And you should do a little bit of that. But at some point, you got to just go. You got to be bold. You got to go in faith. You got to go. You got to start. And a lot of times, God will equip us along the way. Or I should say all the time, really. When God tell you to start something and you're not, like, quote unquote ready, what we call ready, even though he may view us as ready. We don't know everything 100% about that particular thing. When we just go ahead and start, what that does is that gives God the room and opportunity to actually guide us, to actually lead us, to actually take us from here to there, to fill in that gap of what we don't know. And so that's why it's important to just go forward with it, because God builds us along the way. When I first started this podcast, I knew nothing about podcasts. I still don't know a lot about podcasts. It was just like, I'm searching for, okay, God, what's next? I dropped this album, I did these videos, what's next? I'm working on this over here, working on that over there. What do you want me to start now? And it was, just really pushing on my heart to just speak to the people however I can, whether it's through Bible study or whatever. So I'm like, okay, how can I do that? What tools can I use? And I just really felt like he was pushing me, my spirit was pushing me to start a podcast. And so I researched a little bit how to hook up everything, if I need anything extra, what's the best way to do it. And I did that for a little bit, but I wasn't trying to be the perfect, most bestest podcast out there. I trusted what God has already equipped me with, and then I'm gonna start there. And then whatever I don't know, he can learn and teach me along the way. Look, there's gonna be mistakes. There have already been mistakes. I'll go back and watch those first couple of episodes, and I'm like, man, I have no energy right here. I'm always tired, but I'm projecting how tired I am. Like, it was so many mistakes that I made, from the length of the videos to just things that I missed, things that I should have said, shouldn't have said. And so, but I'm learning as I go, and I'm learning on the way. And as I just continue to have that faith and keep picking up the camera again, and keep, picking up my notes again, and keep going forward with the podcast, he can show me new things and show me new ways to do it and help me perfect the gift as I'm going. But if I just stand on the sideline the whole time, I won't have that in-game experience. It's just like learning to drive for the first time. And you doing all the research, you take the test part of it, the computer test part of it, you learning everything you need to learn about driving. But until you actually get behind the wheel, start the car and press the gas, you won't know what it feels like. So whatever God is calling you to do, you can sit there and watch everybody else do it. You can sit there and get all the knowledge and information you can about it. But until you actually do it, you won't know what it feels like. And you are unique. You are unique in your gifts. You are unique in your calling. So it's never going to look the same as somebody else. So it's good to look for experience and suggestions and information and stuff like that. But nothing's ever going to be how you do it. So at the end of the day, you got to do it how you do it. Start there and let God groom you along the way. Let him bring you along the way. You do not have to be an expert to answer your calling or to answer the call from God. Again, there's a lot of things I'm an expert at, but in doing video podcasts, I'm an amateur, and I'm learning along the way. So that's just one of the examples that I have for you, recently, but we all have those things. And my message for y'all today is just go ahead and start, whatever that is, whatever God is calling you to do. Just go ahead and start and trust him to guide you. Trust him to open those doors and opportunities and open your eyes and ways to get better. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to say some of the wrong things. Don't be afraid to be embarrassed. You're going to do some of the wrong things. Don't be afraid to be laughed at. But man, that growth, man, when you 2 years down the line and you look back and see where you started from and have that growth, it's something special. But if you never started, you don't give yourself a chance to have that growth, and it just won't happen. So yeah, the podcast, the helpful tips, the to-do list, they're great supplements to help us learn and become stronger. But to truly just follow God, just start. Just start. And that's my message for y'all. Answer the call. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be an expert. Just start. Just start. Watch what God does, along the way. Watch what he do with you along the way. There are different things that need to happen, that need to be perfected along the way, right? The calling itself, the gift itself, us learning how to do that, but also us as a person, as people. There may be a certain personality trait you're at this point to where you can't do the job as perfectly, but as you're going, he's grooming you as a person at the same time, grooming, that calling and helping you perfect that in that area. So I hope I was able to inspire some of y'all today to just go ahead and start. I'm going to read one more scripture before I let you go. This is from Psalms 37:23-24. The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. The Lord will uphold you. You may fall. Don't be afraid to fall. You may stumble. It say you will not fall. You may stumble. Don't be afraid to stumble. The Lord will hold you up. All right. So once again, Apply the Pressure podcast. I appreciate y'all for listening. Shout out to Kaba Nation and Nia for the shirt. They got some wonderful clothes. So follow Kaba Nation on Instagram. We will be having some guest speakers in here really, really soon. So y'all stay tuned. See you next week. All right, everybody. It's that time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank y'all for watching another episode of Apply the Pressure. But really, you ain't even got to say goodbye. Y'all hit me up on my Instagram and on my YouTube. YouTube is GChild TV and Instagram is _GChild. Y'all comment under this video. Please share it. Please like it. Also, hit me up if y'all have any ideas or any topics to discuss on future episodes. Let me know. Any questions y'all have for any previous episodes, ask those questions. We're going to post the responses to them. All right. Take care.